wants to play a game? I know you do. Do you remember when you were a younger kid going through those picture books with the task of finding certain elements? We're going to bring back those memories by playing a game called Where's Waldo? So in Where's Waldo, you have the task of finding Waldo, as seen on the screen. So here's your first challenge. Were you able to find Waldo? Well, if not, this is where he is. Here's another challenge for you. To speed things up a little bit, here's where Waldo was. Now, what was the point of playing a game like Where's Waldo? Well, believe it or not, finding Waldo in real life just became a whole lot easier thanks to something known as DNA testing. Now, this leads us into our topic on if DNA testing should be made public. Before we dig into that, though, what is DNA? DNA is hereditary material found in humans and almost all other organisms, according to the U.S. National Library of Medicine. Hereditary means that DNA is passed from the parent to the offspring of the organism. This leads to a unique combination of DNA. Not even twins share the same copies of DNA. Most DNA, when examined between humans, are identical, but the slightest change can mean the biggest difference. According to the U.S. National Library of Medicine research article, human DNA consists of about 3 billion bases, and more than 99% of those bases are identical among all humans. It's crazy to think that a 1% difference could lead to such a variation in our kind. DNA is microscopic in size, but is made up of nucleotides. Szilárd Schulman describes nucleotides as the building blocks that make up these DNA molecules. Also, a nucleotide is built upon 3 different components: a sugar, a phosphate group, and a nitrogen base. There are 4 nitrogen bases that make up a nucleotide, which include adenine, cytosine, guanine, and thymine. The figures on the screen help to illustrate how these bases are bonded together. A matches with T and G matches with C. Now, DNA testing first originated in 1987 when investigators used DNA to pinpoint a suspect of rape. Researchers have used DNA testing to convict criminals of cases, see genetic deficits in people, and see the likelihood of an individual contracting a disease. When looking at criminal cases, researchers figure out the DNA profiles by looking at repeats in DNA sequences. The image shows how forensic scientists use markers to tell the difference between individuals. DNA testing has become widely used in the field of criminal justice. Where else has it been used? Not only is DNA testing being used in criminal cases, but also in cases of personal interest. In present day, these are some of the DNA testing agencies that have grown immensely popular. Some of these include MyHeritage, Living DNA, 23andMe, and Ancestry. Now, with all this information, should DNA testing information be made public? Well, if you're on the side of yes, here are some reasons why. According to Rich Press, a science writer and public affairs specialist, he states that today they can generate a profile from just a few skin cells that someone left behind from touching an object or surface. These figures demonstrate just how much DNA forensic scientists really need. Not only will DNA testing help aid in the examination process for criminals, but also to help families and friends prepare for hard circumstances. For example, knowing a loved one is susceptible for a disease will help the family prepare and be emotionally ready. Now, DNA testing does not guarantee an individual will contract the disease in the future, but it does help to show the possibilities. For example, let's say DNA testing shows that an individual is at high risk for dementia. The family would have time to make a strategy to prolong the symptoms. The sooner an individual knows this data, the sooner they can fight to prevent it. With the possibility, the individual will now be able to know the timeline and to make sure that every moment counts. One last reason DNA testing should be made public is for scientific research. Look at the Human Genome Project, for example. A human genome is a group of long DNA polymers. Without willing test subjects, no progress would have been made in this field. An example of improvement can be seen in the cost per genome. A UCLA law article states that it went from $100 million to only $1,000 for the cost of a genome. Now, not only is that eye-opening, but also if you were just personal interest wanting to get tested yourself, The cost is less than $1,000 now, according to the British Journal of Sports Medicine. Think about all of the possibilities that we'll be able to perform if everybody's on board. The future is bright, and DNA can expand all of our possibilities, and this is why the publication is essential. Now, others say that DNA test results should be kept confidential for the best interest of individuals. This information is personal and should also be up to the individual to discern who should know this information. Currently, people are having their identities taken from them without any DNA knowledge. Imagine having this information out there for everyone to see. Identity theft is already an issue in our country. According to Kimberly Alt, a home security expert, as of August 12, 2019, there were 907 total data breaches and 145 million records exposed. If this information alone is not eye-opening enough to show you the prevalence of the issue, Figure 8 below demonstrates some of the more alarming facts dealing with the issue. Social identity thieves are salivating at the idea of this information being made public, as it will open a whole new world of possibilities for them. Keep in mind how private people keep their social security numbers from other people. No one walks around sharing that information with anyone. Not only would social identity thieves be loving the idea of more personal public information, but this information could be used as a deciding factor in hiring. If DNA information was made public, an instant stigma would be placed on those who do not have healthy genes. This aspect alone would lead to major discrimination. In the workplace, an employer could require seeing applicants' DNA test results prior to hiring, and they could use this as the baseline on the value of an individual. Someone could simply not make the cut, not because they don't possess the skills required or knowledge, but simply because of their genetics, which they can't control. Also, insurance companies could require DNA testing prior to allowing individuals to apply for life insurance. With this knowledge, they could discriminate against those who are more susceptible for an illness and possibly not grant them insurance or increase their rates drastically. Knowing the risk of having this information public and the discrimination tied to it, mandates have been implemented to protect the individual. One of these mandates is called GINA. GINA stands for Genetic Information Non-Discrimination Act. According to a U.S. National Library of Medicine article, GINA has two different titles, being Title I, which prohibits genetic discrimination in health insurance, and Title II, which prohibits genetic discrimination in employment. GINA has the capabilities to protect so many individuals from this type of discrimination, but it still has major setbacks. The U.S. National Library of Medicine also states that GINA does not apply when an employer has fewer than 15 employees. GINA also does not protect against genetic discrimination in the forms of insurance other than health insurance, such as life, disability, or long-term care insurance. These restrictions have already been implemented without the publicity of DNA information. If people are already preparing for the future, what does this tell us? Will these restrictions even be enough to protect the rights of our U.S. citizens? Every country has different views on every individual has different views when looking at DNA information on if it should be public or private. It really all comes down to your worldview. If you have a microeconomic view, a small picture, you would believe that DNA testing needs to remain private because it would be in the best interest of the individual to have it that way. Unlike the microeconomic view, the macroeconomic view, you would believe that DNA testing needs to be made public for the greater good of our whole society. Now, no matter what view you possess, you have to look at the benefits of both sides, because for you, it may be better one way or the other. If you have healthy genes, you're going to be someone that wants to have DNA testing public because it will help you. But maybe you're someone that doesn't have healthy genes, and you're going to want to have that information private. Now, ultimately, it's just how much of your freedom and rights do you want to hand over to your government? Do you want to have these rights, or do you want to have somebody else be able to tell you? Now, DNA testing is coming in the future, and it's up to us now to decide what we want to do. Thank you, and these are my resources consulted.